Hello, my name is DCFBF, and after using Debian for about 10 days, here are my thoughts. Now, you might know this x61 from a previous video that I did installing Debian on this, which in that video I had a broken Arch Linux installed that I replaced with Debian, following someone's comment telling me that Debian is a pretty good operating system. Now, I had heard of Debian, but I always assumed that just using Ubuntu or something would be better, because Ubuntu is based off Debian and it's more used still compared to Debian, right? But I installed it thinking, sure, I'll try a new operating system. So now here I am. Now let me first give my thoughts on this operating system. Overall, I think it's quite a fine operating system. This so I'm using the Gnome desktop, and which looks like this, very nice. And I guess it'll also be my review of the Gnome desktop. So the Gnome desktop really is sort of weird when you first use it, because it looks like this when you boot it up first thing, right? It looks like this, and you might be like, what, and then you click on one of these apps and you're like, what? Now you zoom in and like there's an activities bar on top and everything, and it's like all weird and stuff. Well, it is honestly kind of intuitive. You see, you can switch between desktops. I can open up Firefox right here, and I can open up files right here, and then I can just like sort of switch between the two desktops, you know. And then you can also use Control Tab, I think Alt Tab. Oh yeah, Alt Tab to switch between which one you want to use. It's quite nice. But that is a quite nice thing, I have to say. But there is one gripe, and I have about this though, and it is that can I put stuff into the desktop? Like, yeah, see, you can't really put stuff onto the desktop, I don't think. Like, you can't really add anything. I've tried, like, just now, and you can't add anything to the desktop, which I guess it gives you a clean aesthetic right here, but it also kind of, you know, just it's hard, because you gotta press the Windows key every single time, or the super key, whatever the heck you Linux users want to call it. It's in order to access all these. Anyways, now let's move on to the pre-installed applications. So right off the bat, you have all these applications pre-installed, all these utilities, all of these games, not Steam, these Office apps, and all of these, not Zoom or G Smart Control. All right, you have all these pre-installed, which, you know, might be nice for the average user, and I may or may not have opted for the full installation, but I did not think that it came with all these applications. But for me, who does not use like half of these, like maps, why would I be carrying this thing around, right? Like all these applications, like I would have to say 80% of the pre-installed applications are just bloatware, which honestly is not a good thing for me. All right, it's just not a good thing for me, right? And another thing is that it is sort of relatively slow when compared to this x61 running Windows 7, right? Because look at this. I will click on Firefox. I will click on Firefox right here and Firefox right here at the same time, right? Same time, if I can reach same time, and let's see which one loads it faster. Look at that. This is slower than this, and these two use basically the same CPU too, so it's quite a slow operating system. These two have the same amount of RAM, similar CPUs. This one just has like the higher end a little bit, but the difference is not by just a little bit. The difference in speed to load up Firefox, like I just closed Firefox on this and I just closed Firefox on this at the same time, right? And I loaded it back at the same time, and it took about half a second longer to load up Firefox when compared to this thing. I'm not saying it's a big problem, but you know, Windows 7 did it in 2011, 12, something like that. No, not 2011, like 2008 or 7, right? Why can't you do it in like 2024? Anyways, another gripe that I have with this operating system, like not Gnome, but like the operating system as a whole, is the settings app is very limited. It might be Gnome settings. Like this might just be the Gnome settings app that is limited, but like the settings app is very limited, and it's just in the what's called users place. I cannot control my my permissions for this user directly in the settings. I have to go into terminal in order to do it, which you might say, you can't do that either on Ubuntu, right? Yes, you can. So why doesn't Debian do it? Now, the reason why I bring this up is because sudo was not, it was pre-installed, like a user-friendly operating system should have it, but sudo was not usable by me when I loaded up the operating system. I had to add my user, dcfbf, right, into the sudoers file manually. Now, you might say, yeah, that's a safety thing, right? You don't want to have the day-to-day user be able to use sudo. And now and to that I say, the day-to-day user won't even open up terminal, right? The day-to-day user won't even know what a terminal is if they are even using, like, what's it called, Debian, like a day-to-day user. Like they just use Ubuntu or Mint, and Ubuntu or Mint includes the default user into the sudoers file. So why can't you, Debian? Another thing, it is very, very limited in the pre-configured reach for the packages, as I had to go directly into my mirrors file, and I had to add the places that I needed, because when I tried to install Steam, right, it said that and I used the correct methods too. When I tried to install Steam, it just did not work because it didn't know that Steam existed, because Steam did not exist in that package library. So I needed to add like the source library, and like I also needed to add the x86 compatibility stuff, which is a big headache, I have to say. I did not have to do that with Lubuntu over there. And I did not have to do that in my original Mint install like 4 years ago that I already got rid of like a long time ago. But anyways, so that's my main gripes with this operating system. Now let's go over some of the things that I did like. Something I did like as an Ubuntu user would be that all these most of the like commands are the same. As you can see, if I do sudo apt update and put in my password, and then I go sudo apt upgrade, you know, it's all the same. It's all the same same stuff, and it's nice. It's nice that all the commands are the same, and it uses the same sort of package libraries as Ubuntu. Another thing that I liked about this was just the overall basic look of it. I did say that it was slow, but I do quite like the Gnome desktop. It has a very stylish look, and there's a search bar everywhere, you know, search for applications, and it's quite nice. And there is a lot of Gnome applications that are also quite nice. I haven't really fiddled with those yet, but I might later on. And it's just overall very user-friendly, I have to say. And something that was interesting is this top bar right here that shows the activities. This is basically the bottom bar bit, which is, you know, quite cool. And you know, that's basically my experience with Gnome plus on Debian. Overall, it's quite nice, but there are just some quality of life things that should have been pre-done, plus it is a little bloated. So yup, that's it. Bye.